Welcome, Jake. This is weird. That was weird. Yeah, I don't even know what to make of that.
Change it up. New intro. Love
it. Change it up. We had someone make a song for us, as you can see on the song credits there, and so you have to use that. And I kind of grew tired of saying the same thing every show. For the most part, like if you know the spiel, you're with us. If you're new, make sure you read that. Otherwise, you kind of know. I think my biggest fear is, did I typo something in there? And that's going to be kind of embarrassing if that's the case. The thing I kind of snuck in there, Jake, I don't know if you noticed it or if anybody else did. At the start, it says a former statistics professor. I am now a former statistics professor, or maybe technically it's a couple weeks away, but we just finished with the last summer class, and this is my full-time thing. Now, Sideline has been so good to us all. That this is what I get to spend all my time doing now. And so, I was a stats professor now for 5 years, and now I love doing this even more. So I get to do this full time. So it's really exciting. And just kind of slip that little nugget in. I don't know how many people caught that at the beginning.
We'll see. We'll leave it up to the comments to find out.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure the comments I feel like should be full of a lot of things with that. Everything's a little bit different today. I decided to make slides here to have a little graphic. We were talking about things we could throw on the screen. Now. Say what?
All the free time now.
All the free time. No, it's not even that much, as much as it's just things I've been thinking about. And I hope it's good information that you can see on screen. We kind of all did a little bit of discussing about what to put there and how to make it work. And so I'm excited for this kind of new little format that we got going here. Jake, what a wild Sunday we had in baseball. The number of that Nats game was done. The Yankees game was done. Honestly, and I'm sure this hurts, but kind of thought the Braves game was done too. Kind of a weird Sunday. Sundays are always kind of a little bit weird. This felt like a weirder Sunday than usual.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't get over. I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. The A's pitcher just walking over to first base. Yeah,
And we had the A's Saturday as an A grade plus odds pick, and they scored that inning. That guy scored. Yeah. And they lost in the bottom of the ninth. Now, the way the bottom of the ninth played out, they might have given up even more runs, so it might not have mattered. But they lost by one in the bottom of the ninth. And I don't know if you haven't seen that clip yet. Check that. That was from Saturday. It was Luis Medina. I'm sure he's a great guy, but just a crazy play, and he will never make that mistake again. We always talk about this, right? It sucks for these guys who you and I do something silly or stupid or whatever adjective, adverb, whatever you want to use there, and not many people see it. Even if we do it on show, it's still not millions of people, right? These guys make a mistake like that, and millions of people see it, and you end up on not top 10 or things like that. It's tough, but yeah, you're right. That was wild. That was almost as bad, not as bad as the was it Ian Happ, the one last year? Javier Baez, who was the Cubs guy who was the hitter for the Cubs? I don't remember who that was that did the whole running back to home. Baez, okay. Baez, I guess I don't know why I was thinking Happ. I don't know why. I was a short name, I guess. And I was thinking, Baez is now on the Tigers. Last year, a couple years ago, whenever that was, I think the worst. I don't know if that'll ever be topped, but this one was almost as bad as that, right? Where you're like, how do you not just make the out there?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just I just saw that. I was like, that looks like my slow pitch softball league.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we got a good slate of games, but we've already covered all the fun stuff in the intro, so I guess we can just get right to it. 8:10 p.m. Eastern, Mariners at the Royals. You can see here I've put up some graphics on the screen to show the ratings. I'll kind of run through a couple of the key notes here about that. Number one, the Mariners against a righty get a little bit of a ding going up against a righty and Brady Singer. Their right-handed projection is a little bit worse than that 102. Again, remember, 100 is average. Lower means fewer runs scored. Higher means more runs scored. For offense, you want high numbers. For pitching, you want low numbers. Obviously, this Royals offense is really bad. Pitching-wise, these two pitchers are pretty equivalent, Logan Gilbert and Brady Singer, and you might look at that and be confused because of the ERAs. But remember, there are some underlying metrics here that tell a little bit of a different story. Singer's pitched a little bit better as of late. He's had a couple of really head-scratching starts. Give you up a ton of runs to the Guardians one day and some other team that wasn't very good. I can't remember. For the most part, other than that, though, he's looked pretty good. He's given up a few runs to stronger offense. For the most part, been a lot better as of late, I don't think he's really that much far behind Logan Gilbert. I know that's crazy. I know there's going to be people watching this who say Logan Gilbert's by far the better pitcher. But again, remember, ERA does a good job of telling you what did happen. It's not necessarily the best predictor of what will happen. And while so far this season, Gilbert's obviously been the better pitcher with regards to the results, there are some keys to indicate that going forward, maybe they'll be a lot closer to each other. I think Gilbert's probably more than 1 point better than Singer, but the point is I don't think it's by much. I think the model's maybe overselling Singer just a tad based off of last year's data. But I think the point is the starting pitcher discrepancy is not as big as you think. The issue is the discrepancy is big everywhere else. The Mariners trading Paul Sewald, I don't think it matters much. I had him as their fourth best reliever anyway. He was pitching because in the ninth inning because he has a few more years experience than some of these other guys. But this Mariners bullpen is loaded. The Royals bullpen is terrible. According to Sideline, the Mariners win this game 60% of the time. The correct price should be minus 148. We are going to play the Mariners at minus 139. It just ekes into a B grade. Jake, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to me. It's like the offense and the relievers. So the Mariners offense, way better. And it really doesn't matter about the Mariners bullpen because, I mean, they're as good as they are, but it's just as bad as the Royals bullpen is. It doesn't matter with the offense. And then even if they don't score a lot, they've got the relievers to back it up. There's just so many different ways the Mariners win this. And I do like Singer. If he goes 9, that's probably about the main chance that the Royals win. But other than that, I think this is Mariners all day.
I think you're right. Mariners coming off 2 extra inning losses home to the Orioles. Very heartbreaking loss, especially Saturday with the way that George Kirby pitched. That was phenomenal. Heartbreaking on Sunday. Had a home run robbed in the ninth. Had that gone over, the other home run goes over, they win in walk-off fashion. The way they gave up that run in the top of the ninth was questionable if he did stop and the ball happened or not. That was a whole thing. That ninth inning got a little bit weird on both ends. To be honest, the Mariners, will get a little bit of relief here going from playing the best team in the American League and the Orioles to one of the 2 worst teams in baseball. It's either the Royals or the A's, depending on the week and the starting pitcher. Again, I think Singer gives the Royals a fighting chance in this game. It's just this price should be a little bit higher because it matters a whole lot more. Everybody else, this Mariners offense can disappear at times, but is still, like you said, a lot better than this Royals offense. Jake, I think you made the comment before, so that 73 grade for the Royals might be a little bit generous for their offense with the way that they can disappear at times. Apparently, they can still hit, a guy like Adam Wainwright, but that's about it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, Wainwright might have should have bowed out after the last year, but you never know.
Total in this game is 9. It's got a lot of juice on the under. Model projects 8. I like the under in this case. The only question is what juice level is acceptable for us to play the under. So it's not an official pick because right now I think it's minus 125. And that means that people are looking at 8.5 or really juice 9. So it's kind of a discussion there. But when you talk about this Royals offense, not very good. Mariners pitching really good. Singer pitching decent. He should have some success against this Mariners offense. This Mariners offense, again, playing a lot better as of late, but better just means they're average as opposed to insanely terrible like they were the first, 2 months of the season. So, Jake, first question, what's the juice level that you would play in under 9? Second question is, would you also just play under 8.5 at better juice, or would you need the extra push protection on that 9 in this situation?
In this situation, I'm waiting for the 8.5. I'm very confident that it's going to go under. I just would rather my payout look better. It's just too juiced at 9 for me personally. So I'm waiting to see the 8.5. I may even go out and move the line to 8.5 and see what happens there.
Okay. All right. So, Jake, I like the under as well. You like the under 8.5 at better odds. I'm sure that's out there. It's probably out there at FanDuel. I have to assume we get most of our numbers from Bet Online. You can sign up, link in the show description for them if you're not with them yet. They have some of the best prices in the industry. But a place like FanDuel typically does halves, and so they're for sure going to have 8.5. I'm sure others will have 8.5s as well. You like the under 8.5. We both like the Mariners B grade. Definitely worth an investment. Not the strongest play of the day, but definitely a solid one. Looks like it's to 8:40 p.m. Eastern, the Orioles and the Padres. Again, the Orioles just continuing to do what they do, other than losing 2 out of 3 at home to the Astros. Astros, just for the most part, just continuing to play really well as the calendars turn to August. San Diego still doing San Diego things, tantalizingly talented, looking like they're going to make a run and then falling on their face and just kind of lather, rinse, repeat. It seems like both these teams pretty good offensively. Both of these starters pretty good. Grayson Rodriguez and Yu Darvish. Rodriguez, a guy we've talked a little bit about, kind of struggled early on. That wasn't overly surprising, but the underlying metrics indicated maybe it was a little bit of bad luck. Coming back up now, pitching better. Darvish, the better pitcher, according to the model, definitely has the better ERA, definitely has the better history. But again, kind of as that last game, the difference isn't that large. Bullpen-wise, edge to the Orioles. The biggest thing is that the Orioles, that's the overall relievers. They don't have a ton of depth, but the top three guys for the Orioles are really good, and they get a 79 grade. So when you talk about if the Orioles have a lead, they lock it down. The Orioles bullpen issue is more about some of those depth guys who did really well against Seattle when they used everybody, it seems like, on Saturday. But kind of that was also the pitcher-friendly ballpark and the Seattle offense. We will have, of course, a pitcher-friendly ballpark here as well, according to the model. It's pretty close to a coin toss game. The Padres should be slight favorites. We're going to take the plus odds with the Orioles. Jake, I don't really have a clue what's going to happen in this game, so plus 118 sounds good to me. What about you?
Yeah, I love the plus odds on the Orioles. The Orioles have been so good to us. I mean, with the couple of extra inning games there recently, it makes me a little nervous, and I'm assuming that's part of why it's a C grade at the moment. But but I still trust the Orioles to come through here. I also trust the Padres to find a way to lose this game. They'll be winning halfway through and then just decide to quit, and Orioles win.
And they've been good to us, and this hat is good to us because look at this. This hat is like incredible. I love this hat. The other thing, of course, with the Orioles is they used Bautista for 2 innings on Saturday. That means he was unavailable for Sunday. That means he will be available for Monday. And of course, he matters a lot. The Orioles need to keep winning. They didn't necessarily need to beat the Mariners as the Mariners because they aren't really going to be competing with them for anything. The only team the Orioles need to beat from a team perspective would be the Rays. Otherwise, they're just looking to continue to get wins to stay ahead of the Rays. So it wasn't like they went all in with Bautista throwing 2 innings on Saturday because it's like we have to beat the Mariners. It was we have to win ball games because they want to keep that first place. That matters a ton. We've seen it here with this new format in the playoffs. So they're looking to go out and keep winning games. It's not like they're letting off any. Now, maybe we get to mid-September. Maybe they've got a 7-game lead. It's a different story. But right now, they're going out trying to win games, and they're doing a great job of it. They've been doing a great job of it. We talked a lot about Adley Rutschman coming up and how this team's been just a money machine in the long term since he's come back. Sideline does try to look at things like that and find things, those situations where, a catcher can really matter because we've seen how impactful they can be when you have a good defensive catcher who also hits what he does to the lineup. We've seen it with some of the Giants catchers here with Rutschman. We've seen it with a few, the Rangers with Heim as good as he's was in there. So we've seen it from time to time here. Orioles have been so good to us. No reason not to back them. Weather-wise, in this game, we're going to be in the upper 60s, slight breeze blowing in, so a little bit cooler, for an August game. Not cooler, of course, for San Diego, but cooler for an August game because we've been seeing a lot of hot temperatures around the country. And that wind blowing in, usually the wind blows across or out in San Diego, so that's actually going to make it a little bit more pitcher-friendly than usual. Total in this game is 8. Model says 7.7, so the model leans under. Are you interested in it all in an under 8 or maybe a first 5 under, or is it just too close, not really worth your investment, you think?
Yeah, I'm not going to play a total on this. If anything, I lean under like both the first 5 and the full game, but I'm not going to put any money on it.
It's kind of where I would be too, leaning that way. First 5 numbers, we don't have them yet. They'll be out in the morning. I would be curious about the first 5. The model projects 4 on the dot there for that one. The issue with the first 5 here is that you want to go full game under to get that Orioles bullpen involved, but you don't want to go full game under to get the Padres bullpen involved. The model still thinks the Padres bullpen isn't that bad. And it's just when you have a guy as good as Hader, it really just throws everything off because if you take Hader out of that that bullpen, their metrics go through the roof, it seems like. And they've just been all over the map. And every once in a while they get a couple good outings and Hader comes in and they can go 3 scoreless. And then every once in a while they can just give up runs left and right. So you just never really know with that Padres bullpen. So it's not like, both bullpens are bad. Let's take the first 5 under. Both bullpens are good. Let's go with the full game. It's kind of like, I don't really know which way to take it. Orioles, though, at plus odds. Again, they've been good to us. I don't have a clue what's going to happen. Model says pretty close to a coin toss. Padres should be slight favorites. Plus 118, probably worth a little bit of a look to see if they can keep it rolling. Which will take us to our last game here, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Rays at the Giants. First things first, I have removed Wander Franco from the model. I assume he won't play tomorrow. Honestly, who really knows? That's a weird story. I don't really want to say anything about it because details are not confirmed, and I don't want to come back. It's just, he didn't play Sunday. There's all sorts of rumors about whatever's going on, and we'll find out more about that. If he doesn't play, it actually doesn't affect their offense that much. Not that he's not a good hitter, but the Rays are built on depth and tons of hitting, and so removing him doesn't affect their offense too much. They did really struggle on Sunday without him. You wonder if there was a little bit of a distraction. You saw the Guardians put up a ton of runs without Jose Ramirez. So you can see, even an even better hitter, a more important hitter come out and the team still score runs. So I'm not really sure that matters a ton other than the potential distraction, which you hope gets out of their system on Sunday. They can go back and keep winning. They, again, need to keep winning for a lot of reasons. One, trying to win the division, it's really important. Number two, trying to be the first wild card so that you can host that home series really matters, getting all 3 games at home. So the Rays absolutely desperate to win ball games. Giants desperate to win ball games as well, fighting for a wild card spot there. I assume they will not be able to catch the Dodgers as well as the Giants have played. I assume the Dodgers are just uncatchable, but the wild card spot there as well. So both teams need to win this game. But here's the thing, is that the Giants going with a bullpen game, probably a guy like Ryan Walker opening, looking like maybe throwing, a Sean Manaea in there a little bit. Wood threw a lot on Saturday, so I assume he won't be pitching. The Giants do pretty well with these bullpen games, but Tyler Glasnow is fantastic. This is one, obviously, where you want to bet pitcher dependent because we never know if Glasnow is going to get scratched because of the issue he had before. Definitely betting this dependent on the pitcher, but he's one of the stronger pitchers in baseball and can really make up for the deficit that the Rays have there with their relievers. Remember, the Rays minus 142. Model says that they win this 63% of the time and that it should be minus 170. Minus 146 gets us to an A grade, so we just eked into that A grade threshold. Jake, what do you got?
Yeah, I know this isn't the A-plus play of the day, but this is my favorite play on the board. I love the Rays here, so only if Glasnow goes.
Yeah, of course.
When he was here with the Indianapolis Indians, watching him was unreal, and he's just only continued it. Man, the guy is so good. The Rays offense probably it's better than the Giants, and I really don't trust any time Manaea is out there. If he's got a possibility of going, I won't back the Giants whatsoever. So everything for me points to the Rays. I just think they're a much better team.
And of course, a shout out to the A-plus play of the day, which did fall on Sunday, but is now sitting at 10-3 for the month. So still doing really well. Again, you can get that A-plus play of the day exclusively, not exclusively. You can get only the A-plus play of the day for a little bit cheaper price at Black Book Sports. That links in the show description if you want that, plus all the other goodies. Again, Dub Clubs, where again, those links are in the show description there. But I like this one too. Again, Glasnow dependent. If he's not pitching, these numbers are going to change. For now, it sounds like he's going to go. If he doesn't, it'll be a last minute thing. So keep an eye on that one. I think offensively, the comment you made in my head is that on this one is that these two offenses are very similar. The Giants are just the poor man's version of the Rays here. They both don't really have top-notch hitting. They don't have an Aaron Judge. They don't have a Yordan Alvarez or even a Kyle Tucker or these type of guys. They both just they do it by depth. They have a bunch of good, solid hitters, top to bottom of the lineup, can always get the job done, that sort of thing. It's just that the Rays are a little bit better at it than the Giants are. And the Giants offense is pretty good for what it is, because when you look up and down that Giants lineup, you don't see a lot of hitters that really scare you, but they all kind of get the job done. And together they're a solid unit. It's just the Rays kind of do that, but a little bit better. Everyone's just a little bit stronger there on that Rays offense. So, that Rays offensive edge, and again, the pitching edge. Not that the Giants haven't done well with these bullpen games, but a bullpen game against an average starter is one thing. A bullpen game against a guy like Glasnow, you still got to give the Rays the edge there. So Rays minus 142 is an A grade, not the A+ play of the day, but Jake, you do love that one. And that'll take us to our prop of the day. For the first time, we are covering a prop of the day that is actually not a game that we've covered. There are limited props out right now, but I do like this one. This is Astros Marlins. We're going to go Braxton Garrett under 16.5 outs. You can see there on the screen looking at Outlier.bet, he's hit this or gone under this number 64% of the time this season. Not a lot of juice there, which is nice. Not one of those minus 150 things. If it gets up to minus 150, I probably still is a smart play, but it's not really one I'm excited about at that point because now you're starting to get into the value proposition not being there. But at minus 120, I think there's a lot of value here. Look, the key on this one is that the Astros, and you saw it this weekend, it's probably not this extreme. This is definitely an extreme example, but the Astros put up double-digit runs on Friday against the lefty, double-digit runs on Saturday against the lefty, Sunday against the righty, 1. It's obviously not going to be that extreme going forward, but long talked about. This Astros offense has 2 lefties that can hit lefties. Singleton, a lefty now, even hitting a home run off of a lefty as well on Saturday. Everybody else in that lineup is a right-handed bat, and so you just have a team that's a good offense that's finally healthy against a lefty. This bodes really well for the Astros. Just the higher probability that they run him early. This feels like 5 innings is about what it should be, so the fact that we're getting a little bit of value here, I think, is worth the investment. Jake, what are your thoughts here? Braxton Garrett under 16.5 outs.
Yeah, I think it's a very smart play. The Astros versus the lefty it's just unfair at times, and this is one of the ones that I think they really take advantage of him here. And it seems like the Marlins have liked their bullpen a lot right now, and they're not afraid to go to it early. So I think 5 innings is about the cap for him. So I think there's a good chance, even if he's doing well, that they just pull him anyway to prevent like maybe a third, 3.5 times through the order kind of thing.
Yeah.
And not fall victim to that and let the bullpen take over.
Yeah, you see he's also a high strikeout guy. That leads to more pitches. The Astros don't really strike out a lot. Part of that is they take pitches. Part of it is they foul pitches off. That's going to drive his pitch count up. And you make a great point and a great example from what happened on Saturday. And watching the game live, I was very surprised that the Angels let I don't remember which lefty it was. They've got so many of them now. Anderson, I guess it was on Saturday, let him go through the lineup. That third time, he did well against the top of the lineup the first time, but that second time through, the top 4 all got on and all scored off of him. And I thought, I just cannot believe they're going to let him do that. And there were 2 outs. I was like, I just cannot believe they're going to let him face it again. And guess what? The top 4, literally all 4 got on again that third time through. And so you look at that as a cautionary tale. A lefty, again, even though Garrett has really good stuff, it just doesn't seem likely that he's going to get through that third time to the top of the lineup. That the team doesn't want to let that happen. They have plenty of lefties in that Marlins bullpen that they want to go to face that top of the lineup. And there's just no point. His pitch count probably will be higher against his Astros team. There's just a lot of ways we could win this. And of course, the Astros might put up 6 runs in the first 3.5 innings or so as well and get him run. So even if he's pitching well, and his pitch count gets high, might get pulled before he can finish the 6th inning. So yeah, a lot of ways we could win this one. Pretty solid value here. I'm really surprised this is minus 120. Like I said, I really figured it would be more like minus 150 or minus 160. And at that point, it's like, well, probably, but also I hate the price. It's not really, I'm not really dying to do this, but minus 120, I think, is a gift. Remember, if you want to see all of these fun metrics here at Outlier.bet, Outlier.bet/professor will get you that 7-day free trial. They integrate seamlessly with the Big 4 domestic sportsbooks. Take you right there. Build a whole card for you based off what you pick. You can see all sorts of goodies, plus expected value plays, trends, all sorts of stuff. Outlier.bet/professor. Again, that link's in the show description as well. And if you're not playing daily fantasy, Thrive Fantasy is the place to go. Using the promo code SIDE or that link in the show description, you can get a 100% instant first deposit match up to $250. So some free money there to start playing around with some of these player props and seeing if you can win some money from them. Jake, that's all we got today. Any parting words for people's either late Sunday nights or Monday morning or Monday afternoon if you're watching this late?
No, not this time. I'm just happy the Braves finally won a series here recently of this road trip.
I mean, it was against the Mets, so
win's a win. Win's a win.
All right. Well, that's all we've got then for you. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Picks with the Professor. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet so you can ensure all the sports betting content provided on this channel is dropped right into your feed. We'll be back again tomorrow with more sports betting content. But until then, as always, best of luck. And remember, you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money.